Hi everyone, Nick here bringing you another product review for CSGO to Asia. Today we're back to break down the new monitor from BenQ ZOWIE, the XL2546K. The XL2546K is the successor to the XL2546, ZOWIE's 24.5-inch version of the 240Hz esports monitor, and probably the most popular esports monitor ever created. Tournaments from ESL, DreamHack, Blast, and more all use this monitor in their events, and it's understandable why. The XL2546K offers the new DyAc Plus technology and a native 240Hz refresh rate. While that's nothing new in terms of the hardware, it's the changes they've made in the design and ergonomics of the monitor that set this model apart. You'll see soon what we mean, but first, let's get some of the technical stuff out of the way. Right out of the box, the monitor comes with all the necessary accessories. Included are the monitor shields, the all-important S-switch, the product manual, a DisplayPort cable, a dust cover, and of course, a power cord. What you see is what you get with ZOWIE, and I like their continued no-frills approach. The monitor is a 24.5-inch display with a max resolution of 1920 by 1080, making it a full HD 1080p monitor. As I stated earlier, not much has changed in terms of the hardware inside. This monitor still uses a TN panel, so if you're looking for the latest and greatest IPS or 360Hz refresh rates, this isn't the monitor for you. A fundamental difference between the previous model, the XL2546, is the impressive 0.5 ms response time. And until now, that's the fastest response time you'll see on a gaming monitor. After using it for a few days, I definitely noticed something that was smoother about my gameplay, and with all other settings equal, I conclude that the 0.5 ms difference is noticeable, but just barely. Now it's time to get to the form and function, an area we'll spend quite a bit of time on since this is the key difference between the two monitors. In terms of the design, it's no secret that ZOWIE is about form and function over aesthetics. The monitor is basically about comfort. There are no speakers or RGB lights because who needs that? When we first heard about this model, we were excited for things like potentially a zero bezel display or even some subtle backlighting, but I guess we should have expected that wouldn't be the case. Ultimately, the changes ZOWIE has made stem from tons of experience with professional level players, which is why they tout this as the best esports monitor. This actually isn't designed for your casual gamer or content creator. It's truly made for professional players and those aspiring to be professional players. So let's take a look at some of those key features that they have changed. The most prominent feature is the new monitor base. As you can see, the new design is more compact and occupies less desk real estate. While this is useful in quickly distinguishing between the two models, it also serves a purpose for your own uniqueness. As you can see from this illustration, the ability to play with more room for your mouse, keyboard, and mousepad allows for freedom of choice in how tight you want your setup. This isn't something that affects me personally, but for those of you who like to play with a slanted keyboard or really up close, this is a very useful change. The privacy shields are another standard feature of ZOWIE esports monitors. With the K version, ZOWIE has opted for a more user-friendly installation. As you can see, they've done away with the need for a screwdriver with easy clip-on wings that, well, just clip on. The handy S-switch, a USB device that plugs into the monitor, has also been updated. I like the subtle changes they've made without the red numbering, and it's another way to determine which model of the XL2546 you have. However, I do miss the regress S-switch holder that the XL2546 had. Understandable that they got rid of it though, considering the smaller base. According to ZOWIE, the monitor now has an increased angle for swivel and rotation. Again, this won't affect a majority of the player base, but for professionals who play extremely long hours in all sorts of weird positions and setups, the 3-degree angle difference makes a huge difference, so I've heard. The inputs include 3 HDMI 2.0 ports, a single DisplayPort, with a headphone jack output. The main difference here is the removal of DVI support, but that's an interface of the past anyway. ZOWIE has also gotten rid of the additional USB ports on the side. I guess no one really used them. I know I didn't. Another great feature of the ZOWIE monitor presents itself in the revamped OSD, or on-screen display. While the most obvious changes are on the outside, ZOWIE has made a few cool improvements on the UI UX of the OSD, as well as a brand new feature called XL Settings to Share. With XL Settings to Share, you can now export the various monitor settings under different profiles. Simply download the XL Settings to Share desktop app from ZOWIE and export your favorite settings. You can share the configuration file on a USB or a cloud-based storage solution of your choice and have the precise settings you're comfortable with anywhere you can use an XL2546K. For those familiar with ZOWIE, Black Equalizer is something you've come to expect. A proprietary technology from ZOWIE, it's really a game changer. Just look at the difference here with Black Equalizer on, and here with Black Equalizer off. I didn't notice much of a difference between the 2546 and the new K series, so I don't feel there is a need to elaborate on this. The main takeaway is that Black Equalizer works, and you will notice a difference if you're switching from any other brand of monitor, even other 240Hz models. DyAc, or better known as Dynamic Accuracy Control, is another key feature of ZOWIE's esports monitors. According to ZOWIE, DyAc is a technology designed to reduce motion blur seen in LCD panels. It reduces vigorous screen shaking in-game and can help improve recoil control. Perhaps the difference is minimal and varies from person to person, but the difference in the arena is often that 1%. While I agree with that, others may draw their own conclusions. I can't confidently say that there's any difference between DyAc on or off when you're in game, and to add to that, the difference between DyAc Plus and DyAc 1.0 are negligible at best. But as per our previous product review, this simple test highlights the difference between DyAc on and DyAc off. As you can see from the image, the overall picture of the alien in his spaceship is that much clearer and sharper, and that is what translates to the smoothness that you feel in game. Couple DyAc with the 240Hz refresh rate as well as the finely optimized 0.5 ms response time, and you start to realize the nuances that set this monitor apart. So, how do we really feel about this monitor? You know, it's really easy to pinpoint negatives like the hefty price tag, so I won't dwell on this part. Yeah, it's no secret that this monitor retails at 799 Singapore dollars. And that is a huge factor for a lot of people. But this is an obvious setback. What I would like to see in the future is more attention to the multiple use cases. I do think there is a space for ZOWIE to make a hybrid monitor of some sort. Today's professional player requires a level of commitment in content creation too. And it would be amazing to see the switch between two profiles, for example, one for creation and one for serious gaming. Maybe this isn't something the XL series can achieve, but for what this monitor is specifically designed for, it does an astounding job. Overall, the design changes ZOWIE has implemented are clearly well thought out. While on the surface they seem subtle, the more you interact with your new monitor, the more you appreciate all the attention to detail. So, if you're serious about your performance, and even if you're serious about going pro, then you would be wise to make the switch to the XL2546K. After all, this is a monitor that will stand the test of time, and high performance is the difference between being good and being great.